Peace, everybody, and welcome back to the Black Guild Podcast Season 2, man. We're excited to be back. This is episode 0 where we talk about new growth. I'm excited to be back here, and right now I'm here with my brother, who you've seen in Season 1, but back to stay in Season 2.
Yeah.
So I got to introduce myself as Brother Lee, but I also got to lift up my brother, man, as Brother Eric. So thank you for coming on, bro, and thank you for being here and being locked in. Yeah, so we're excited to get with y'all, and really just excited to get things going. And I talked a little bit about it before, but this episode we're going to talk about new growth in so many aspects of the work, aspects of ourselves, aspects of our community. But we're excited to talk about new growth. But I'm sure y'all know us well by now. I'm sure y'all clear on how we do things. And before we get started, we got to dive into a game. Got to dive into a little gamey game. Don't call it a gamey game where you from. I don't think nobody does that. But the game we got today is called the BYI Food Awards, right? And these food awards work like this. I myself and Brother Eric will give a 30-second speech. From that 30-second speech, I have to guess what food he is, right? And he would have to guess what food I am. So we're going to jump into that right before we jump into our topics. So yeah, let's do it. Cool. Would you like me to go first, or would you want to go first?
I can go first.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, I'm excited.
Giving honor to God, whom all praises are due. I want to thank my mama, my baba, and all the people who been here around, the people who I come from. You know what I'm saying? Because I come from the deep, you know what I mean? From the deep south, from the ground. You know what I mean? I come from the darkness. I was born in it.
Oh, okay.
And because I was born in it, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I recognize that now in the light right here in the BYI Food Awards, because I happen to not only be there to strengthen you and get your sight right, but also to work with you, you know what I'm saying, and to work with many famous people,
Right.
who actually have I've made them famous by being in their hands. You know what I mean?
Right.
When they ask, "What's up?" You feel me?
Oh my goodness.
You understand?
I feel you, brother.
So I've been around for a long time. I'm grateful for all the things, and I want to make sure that people know that we just got to stay rooted.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all, your boy done seen some episodes in his day. So as soon as he hit me with the eyesight, I was going carrot. Is it carrot, brother? I was going carrot, man. You gotta know them carrots good for the eyes, baby.
And you know
don't
I was
that.
talking about bugs.
Oh yeah, as soon as you went to bugs, I was like, all right, that go my confirmation. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. So look, I'm thankful to be here at the BYI Food Awards myself. You know what I mean? I know people don't generally wear bright colored jackets like I do to these awards. But shit, you know what I mean? But I'm coming from fresh out of a tree, and now they got me in a new space, so I'm happy to be up here on the stage. Let me know if y'all see any monkeys around. I'm trying to keep my life here, but at the same time, man, if you got a cramp, or you just need a little potassium, call on your boy. You know what I mean? We do potassium workouts and things like that on the outside. But if not, I'm going to go hang with the rest of these guys and just hang out, you know what I mean, somewhere in the jungle.
I like to eat bananas. Banana. Yeah,
Real simple, yo. Yeah, no,
that was good.
That's major. So
that was good.
I like that.
Like that.
We might have to ask y'all to do.
We gotta
something
keep it going. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I feel like some of y'all get a little out of pocket, but it's all good. We looking forward to it. But yeah, I thank y'all for sticking through our game, and let's dive in and talk about what we talk about. Oh yeah, no, Food Land Liberation for sure. But in particular today, we're gonna jump into some new growth.
I'm showing off because I'm excited to be here.
No, you should be showing off.
New stuff
we're excited to have you here. So you talk about excited to be here, like you should be showing off. Actually, you shouldn't even have that cardigan on. You should be showing all your muscles and pecs, all your fruits and vegetables.
No. They don't need to know. It's new growth.
Okay.
It'll
new
come
growth,
out later in
you don't
spring.
want to tell me. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. All right, y'all. So look, while we jump into new growth, I think it's important we start talking about like what new growth look like for our team, our podcast, and just us in general, man. So if you were with us last season 1, of course you would know we were able to really execute, man, have some great episodes with some great guests, and really just grow. And part of that is just really working through things with folks, getting their perspectives, getting their ideas, let them informing us on what they got going on. And that was an amazing time. But as we jump into season 2, we got quite a few things that we want to kind of like angle out and do some things differently, right? So one of those things, or a few of those things, are one. We're gonna have, let me take a step back. I know y'all miss Ashley. She'll be here right now. She's just not in our space, so we couldn't connect. But she'll be here in episode 2.
Yeah,
she'll be in episode 2. Yeah,
she tried to go on vacation when we started recording. I don't even understand that. I feel like she threw in our face that like, oh, you know what I'm saying? She out here, she Ashley, Janet, and all of that. Like, but
Janet, I should say Janet.
I'm really not appreciating that.
So Janet will be back in season 2. So for all
so part of New Growth, one part that's not New Growth, she's still acting funny in season 2.
That hasn't changed. Even moving forward, man, just some new things on the podcast in general. One, we won't have guests this season. We won't have guests this season. Why won't we have guests this season? Because look, we like what we got. We had some amazing guests last season, and really, I don't know how the hell we're gonna top that. But even still, we looking forward to engaging with y'all. Y'all are our guests this season, right? We get to sit here and lock in with y'all every time we sit down. So we excited to talk about more, give some more game, and just have some more feedback from the folks that are watching us and been tuned in, man. So that's one thing we're really excited about. The second thing, if you got eyes there because you be eating them carrots that Brother Eric was talking about, that you'll see behind us, we got a little something special for y'all.
We got a new look out here.
Hey, not even a new look, but a new look if you watch it. Hey, so you see what we got here. This is our Black Yield podcast background, man. We're letting y'all know that not only are we here to stay, but we here to play.
We're growing.
You know what I mean? Huh? Yeah, put some water on us, goddamn, because that's what we're doing. You know what I mean? But you see us Black Yield podcast, and we got everything going on. And anybody that we have coming to space, man, we're looking forward to having them sign, leave their legacy right on this thing here, because we know it's going to be history right behind us. So let's let that be known. As we continue to jump into season 2, we really just decided to talk about some topics, some new topics, share some new growth, talk about what's been going on with BYI, talk about what's going on in our communities, and really just, just talk more about like, you know what I mean? We've been away from y'all for too long. So, like, I'm excited to have conversation, man. I'm excited to dive a little deep. So, today, while we talk about growth, I want you to be thinking about growth in your world. But connect with us, man. Talk to us about what your growth look like, because we definitely going to share a lot around it today. All right? So, cool.
I'm excited about it.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited. And it's a lot of stuff that they probably like.
Can I also say, like, yo, one, I appreciate you letting me be on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
I know.
Letting you be on the podcast.
I mean, like, I had a good time last season coming on as a guest, typically being behind the scenes, but because we are, going no guest, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I think it'll be a good, well-rounded conversation between Sister Ashley, Janet, Ashley.
Ashley.
It's so many names that she go by, but whatever alias she going by, and yourself, like, really just building that out. And I'm looking forward to it, but really I'm excited to be here because I think it'll be good. I don't want to say nervous, but I'm a little like interested to figure out what the new format looks like.
I got you.
But because I like the guests, I like I mean, calling people up, being like, "Hey, can you come on our podcast?"
Right.
I think it'll be nice, but I do understand that COVID has presented a challenge for us, and so I get that. But I really am excited about it. Well, also, if people have been following us for enough time, they'll remember this kind of feels reminiscent of like Chug Talk. You remember Chug Talk?
Y'all remember. I ain't got to tell you.
So I don't know if folks will know, but Chug Talk was Chug Talk essentially was a kind of preliminary, kind of pre-podcast, kind of, web show, if you will, that we actually launched on Hey, engineer, did we have that on was that on YouTube or was it? It was on YouTube. So you can
still on YouTube too. I'm about to say, don't hesitate.
So like, Chug Talk was really just like the precursor. It was how we got our feet wet. It was the way that during the pandemic in 2020, it was we're not able to do what we want to do at our farm, Chug, Cherry Hill Urban Community Garden, CHUCG. Yep. The C is silent at that farm, which we'll talk about new growth later with the organization. But anyway, with Chug, you know, we were like not able to get in front of people. We were like, how do we continue what we're doing? And actually the idea came from the genius of Brother Lee, who was like, well, here's what we're gonna do. And we did it. And then the Black Yo podcast actually was born out of that. So it feels like that to me. But it feels even better because we got a new look. We got a new attitude. Well, I don't know if this copyright infringement, but you know what I mean? It's just new, right? You know, so I just wanted to like, the way that I see the world, at least, you know what I'm saying? Like growth from my perspective kind of grows within and then comes out into the world. And so in order to do that, for me, I feel like it's a recognition of what came before, right? Like that's what innovation is.
Absolutely.
It's going to what we come from and building from there. Right. You know what I mean? So I know the other topic we plan to talk about is growth from within.
Yeah.
Brother Ulysses Archie, who was actually
y'all gotta remember.
You remember he was talking about urban homesteading and he talked about a bunch of other things.
Gift economy and more. Man.
Exactly. He taught me one time as someone who kind of focuses his work on permaculture and permaculture design. He talked about growth happening inside and then coming out. And he taught me that, but really what solidified that idea for me was just learning about Pierre Rebbe, who is an ancestor now. Mm-hmm. He's an agroecologist, somebody who originally from, I believe, Algeria.
Yeah.
And lived in France, who actually not only was an agroecologist, and agroecology, for those who are interested, and you can Google it, agroecology, AGROECOLOGY. I could have been in the spelling bee.
I was about to say, if I had a
EJ and the B.
Matter of fact, look, I don't know if that works.
Can you put that in a sentence?
You know
so anyway, agroecology is really the study and the practice of agriculture that moves with nature rather than disrupts the flow of nature. And so he wrote this book called, I'm a butcher this because I always do it, In the Soil, Sow in the Heart, something like that. And he kind of talks about, from my perspective, what's inside matches what's on the outside, right? And his whole philosophy is about really being and not just like doing. Right. So like being vegan and being organic don't mean anything if like we're not treating ourselves organically. Facts. Right? If we're not loving on ourselves. I can dig. So I think folks should check that out. Pierre Rebbe and agroecology. Check those out. But I feel like at least the idea when we talk about growth, you go within. Absolutely. Everything that lives in the world, and this is what Brother Ulysses helped me understand, everything that lives in the world before a sprout of alfalfa or a sprout of broccoli or a sprout of sunflower or whatever it is, it goes deep within. It goes in. Right. And then build out, and the root system grows from that, right? And so I think, you know, one of the things as we talk about new growth with this podcast and as we think about new growth for our lives, everything that actually comes to fruition in a new form always starts in a dark place. Remember Bang?
Bang?
Remember Bang? We talking about that? I was born.
Oh, Bang. You know oh, yeah, that's my guy.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that's so powerful, right? I mean, you know,
that's major.
I think it's one of those things where seriously we don't give enough credit for it. But I think what I'm clear about is if we gonna grow, it's always a tough, dark period. And not dark in the sense that like we are African people. It's not dark in that sense. But I mean in a space of like going within. Right. Into the soil and then out. Right. If you see a sprout, that means that it went through something, right? I mean, if I'm honest with you, we all go through stuff. Right. We all go through everything, and there are these periods where we feeling like, or at least I don't know about y'all, but you can say amen, I say whatever you want to do. Yeah. But I know about me. You know what I'm saying? And for me, in order to get to those next plateaus, to grow, to build from, you know what I mean, from that point, it's like, you gotta go through a darkness. Absolutely. You feel me? At least for me, that's what I've seen. Every time I've had major growth, that major growth only happens when and only when I go through this tough period of trying to figure out this newness.
Right.
And so I just wanted to kind of lift that up and kind of talk about that because all growth starts inside. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No,
all of it.
No, bro. Hey, and if I could tag on to what you're saying, man, I think another thing to add to that piece when you're talking about going within before you can come out, is the uncomfort that comes with it, right? It's just that like understanding that it's a lot of things going on in that soil when the roots got to go down, right? You got rocks in the way, you got insects, you got a bunch of different challenges that's going to present itself and that continuously presents itself. But of course, you know what I mean? When growth is happening inside of the uncomfort, as long as you stay within it, man, like you're going to come out the other side and actually and see how different things are happening and see how habit changes are affecting your day-to-days, right? And see how new practices come into play. So I think that growth piece, bro, is always going to be major, but I think folks got to realize, like, when you get into that space where things feel uncomfortable and things don't feel like they're going as well as they should be, right? When you're a farmer and you're growing your crops and things ain't coming up on after the frost like you wanted them to, or the soil ain't ready like you thought it would be, I think that's growth, right? And I think we owe it to ourselves to start to understand that uncomfort versus push back towards it and allow that growth to happen, right?
It.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a part of the growth
and it's
process.
going back into so it's like we need to be. Yes, we need to be and not try to control the thing that we are actually trying to be. So I think that's a major piece, bro. But that good. You about to say
no. I was just gonna say, like, you know, you bring this, like, I was cleaning up today. I don't know about everybody don't know this, but I'm gonna put it out there. I know Lee since, you know what I mean, he was probably about 11 going on 12 years old. Yep. And I don't know if you remember this, bro. I remember saying this to you a long time ago, but I don't know if you remember this. Some of the most powerful moments happen when you by yourself and when you're doing mindless things. I don't know if you remember that. I used to clean up. You remember that? I used to clean up. We met at Police Athletic League, and there was this trailer. He was a young brother, among with other young brothers, but we just gravitated to each other. Absolutely. His mother understood and saw that we had a connection. She even tried to get him in trouble one time by talking to me. Like, just talk to him. You remember that? And I rapped to him. I did the big brother thing, you know what I'm saying?
He did.
But in another, you know, way of being a big brother, I don't know if you remember this, bro, but talking about this, like, some of the best moments I've had is actually in cleaning up or doing some, like, mindful things. I'm present, but I don't have to use my mind. I'm using my mind to be self-reflective or to imagine stuff, you know what I mean? But anyway, when, you know, like, I'm sweeping the day, right? And I was thinking, like, yo, you know what? And I just had one of the moments. You know how you had one of the moments?
Oh, yeah.
You put something in the air and you be having one of the moments.
Hey, now.
You know, I ain't putting nothing in the air.
Hey, now.
But I felt like that. It felt
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
So what I felt, honestly, in that moment was like, yo, what it takes to grow. And it's crazy. Maybe I was thinking about, like, getting ready to, you know, for the episode. But just thinking about, like, what we need to grow often is really, like, the space to just they're gonna be.
Yeah, right? For sure.
If we can just be and move with the process, not trying to act like we something different.
No, bro, you got, like, you're hitting it. You're hitting it.
You know how what they say, fake it till you make it?
Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah.
I'm talking
it's
about
called playing yourself.
Right. And I don't want to play myself no more.
It's called playing yourself, yeah.
I don't want to play
that's
myself.
Real. No, that's real.
What I want to do is contribute to life by just being.
Right.
Because everything else follows from the being. I was talking to our engineer, Brother Jordan, yesterday about the same thing and thinking about this whole idea of, like, yo, one thing after that conversation that we had, shout out, after that conversation that we had, it really put me in this space. We can change what we are, but you damn sure can't change who you are. You come into life who you are.
Right.
What you are is shaped by your environment.
Right.
You feel me? So we focus on our being.
Talk to him. Yes, sir.
If we focus on who we are.
Right.
You came. My worldview is that you came into life signing a contract. I sign on to live in this body and do this work.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
This is what I believe. In the cosmos, you like, little baby, whatever. Like, all right, what's my next task, coach? You feel me? Well, you want me to go in and you want me to live for 78 years and you want me to do X, Y, and Z? All right, cool. Give me a body, right? And that's kind of how I understand it. So my thought is like, who you are is fixed. You signed the contract.
Right.
That's the principle.
Right.
You attached to this body till you not. what you are, you can change. You can change your behavior.
Absolutely.
You can change if you're a teacher or a coach or a lawyer or whatever. But at the core,
the variables you
who
got control
you are
over,
is who you are. That's where the going within is important. Because the thing is, the change that happens is in the what, not the who.
Right.
It's about how do we project who we are and the various roles that we have. I'm a father today, but I haven't always been a father. So do I identify with a father or do I identify with who I am?
Right.
And being a father, am I being a father based on who I am, or am I being a father based on what I am?
Right.
Because if so, when you stop being a father, in the sense that your children grow up and all of that, you don't have nothing to do now.
You left. Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. You lost a piece of your identity.
Right.
Right.
Because you identified with the what, but not the who.
That's powerful.
That's the work.
That's powerful.
With that being said, I'm shutting up.
You dirty.
With that question, with that though, I got a question for you.
Ask what?
What's an area though for you that you've grown, and then maybe an area right now that you realize that you want to grow in?
I got you.
Right? Going, maybe it had a dark space attached to it. I want to answer the same thing, but
So that's two questions. The first one, an area that I've grown in, man, has been like just being a dad, and it's interesting you brought that example up right before we started, or you asked that question. But I have I'm going on having a 2-year-old, and
baby's out.
We here now, so I should also tell y'all that I have a newborn coming as well. So. I'm officially a dad of 2. So let that be known. That's 4 I just put up, but I was trying to say 2 separately. But no. I'm saying I only got 2. I got 5. No, but I say that to say is that like when you talk about a space that I've grown in, one, I'm a guy and I grew up a different way than my daughter and my children would ever grow up. And then 2, like I grew up under some circumstances that they'll never understand or experience in the way that I have.
Bro, you better preach.
Yeah, hey, I'm giving it to them, and I'm sure y'all can relate. But I say that to say is that when you talk about growth, I guess one of the first things I had to realize is that like I don't get to choose how this thing kind of pans out, right? All I can do is show up inside of it, and come and do my part. And becoming a dad, right? I think I struggle with the separation of like I still have a lot that I identify as outside of being a dad, but I also kind of prioritize being a dad over all the things I identify with, right? And I think the issue with that is that like we feel like we owe something to all these different areas of our life that we're not growing at the pace we want to grow in. But what I had to learn, man, is that like you don't get to move the time. Right? You don't get to move the days. Like, whether you like it or not, if there's 8 stones that you have to climb to get to the top of that mountain, you're going to have to go through all 8. Right? And when you understand that, you start to learn that when you step on each of these stones, it's something for you on that stone that you're supposed to take in or withdraw or be able to actually lock in and come in. So, I say that to say is that, like, when you talk about growth,
Lee D. Jakes.
I think it might...
Lee D. Jakes. Yeah.
That's actually... That's funny because I grew up listening to Lee D. Jakes. All right, that's funny. That's funny, man. But I say that to say is that an area that I'm growing in right now, man, is just being a dad, learning what it looks like, right? I was a dad of 1, right? And as soon as I thought I had it figured out, you know what I mean? Then boom, God bless me again, or I bless God, however you want to call it, right? Both. We blessed each other, right? But I said it to say is that like woman. God, hey, listen, hey, you ain't lying, but what I will say is that like that idea of like the uncomfort, but also things happening in real time will present a lot of different challenges, a lot of different obstacles, right? And I spoke earlier to that uncomfort piece, to that piece of like understanding that like when things aren't going how you feel, when things are in play how you think they should be in play, then that's because you're in an uncomfortable space, and in uncomfortable spaces, there's only growth that can happen. Yeah. Growth doesn't happen in spaces that you feel comfortable, right?
Exactly.
Right? You have a you don't get stronger by lifting the same amount of weight every day. Yeah. Right? You got to go up at some point. You got to break that curve of
otherwise
like your muscles feel exactly.
Right.
Otherwise you stay stationary.
Right.
And stationary and a lot of people say this, but if you stand still, it's almost just as good as being dead. Yeah. My man. So exactly. So when you talk about me growing, that's one way that I grow. And one place that I know I want to grow in, man, is just really like growing in my patience. And I say that to say is that like I'm one of those and I'll be transparent and I'll be honest, that I've come from a place that's not always been great, right? And when you come from places like that, you want to get out of them. You want to get to a certain level as soon as possible. In my generation, y'all like to call the microwave generation. Yeah. We want things to be done fast. We want things to happen quick. And what I'm learning is from like my old school folks and my elders is that like you only get one day at a time, right? And if we could work on 10 days at a time, that'd be a different thing. But you literally get one day at a time. Yeah. So I'm learning that my only job is to execute on that one day, right? I've used I'm not sure if Will will sue us for this, but I've used Will Smith book as an example, right? But he talks about this idea of a wall, right? We focus so hard on the wall, but then you have this understanding that every day you got to lay one brick. Yeah. And if you can focus on laying that one brick every day, eventually you look up, you're going to have a big wall. You're going to have a hell of a wall, right? So my only job is to every day wake up, learn that my patience has to be a necessity in all of my circumstances, and learning that like I don't get to move the clock, learning that like I don't get to move my own ways, and learning that growth is something that has to happen over time. If you watched a plant grow before, if you saw a time lapse, or if you saw a book read about it, however it may be, you understand all of the stages. But ultimately, there's no human that I know of that would sit around and watch that thing happen because the time is way too much. Mm-hmm. You don't know when that seed is cracking. Mm-hmm. You don't know when that sprout is coming. Yeah. You don't know when the fruit is coming, but you know it's coming. Yeah. And your only job every day is to show up to do whatever it is to nurture that thing or nurture that seed that you want to see become a fruit. So when you talk about growth, patience is my thing. Patience is my thing in my business world, in my community, in my family, in my friends, and all the things that I'm connected to. And because of that, man, I think that's going to present me the longevity I need later, right? Because the things that are happening now is just priming me for what I got coming, and I'm clear on that. But yeah, that's my. But I also wanna, if I can pose the question to yourself, like we talk about growth. What has been one of like your growth areas or one of your growth spurts, if you will, and then like what are also you growing in today? Because I'm clear that like growth is an active thing, right? Like if you ever watch a child grow, if you ever had children, like no 2 days are the same. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whether you like it or not, they might have got a centimeter or, you know what I mean, or half an inch, whatever it may be. Yeah. But no 2 days are the same. The language doesn't show up the same. Sure. The mannerism doesn't show up the same. The smile isn't different. They got 8 more teeth the next day than you've seen the day before. So it's that idea that like the clock doesn't stop for us. So I'm saying that to say it, brother. What does that look like for you? You know, man, I want to definitely answer that question. I also would say, man, like what you just talked about, an analogy of children and how children grow. The one thing about children, you can see the growth, right? The thing that we get caught up on is the fact that we can't always see the growth when the growth starts to plateau. Ooh. When it slows down, it doesn't mean it's not growing. Man. It's growing, but we have to be so connected. We have to be so related. We have to be in right relationship with growth to know that it's happening even when it's slow. And we got to have that faith in the man. We got to have faith. We got to have the patience that you just talked about. Out of hand. And then that. So with that being said, I just wanted to say that as you were talking. No, that's powerful. That is where the growth happens, where you see it. So one place that I have a noticeable growth in for myself is in the area, honestly, bro, of like accepting myself. And I don't mean it from an individualistic standpoint, but I mean accepting the who I am and not just the what I am. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that it's an area that I've grown in and an area that I'm still growing in. But just like that, I've gone through the cycle of really telling myself, you know, that I'm only what I am. Right. Servant director of Black Hill Institute, father of my 4 children, you know, brother of so-and-so. So-and-so. Justin, Jasmine, Brianna, Chris, and Gerald. You know, and all of these things, like I've just relegated myself to my roles and not just who I am at a spiritual level. You feel me? And I've grown in that and accepting that, like, yo, some people gonna respond in a way that I might not like. Right. They might not like me. I actually can't stop being me. There you go. And being okay with that. And an area that I'm growing in, for sure, and that I still want to grow in, is what I've called becoming. That's been my process. Break that down to them so they can understand that. For me, I want you to hear this. For me, my process has been to become.
Become is two things that I'm working on right now. A mantra to remember what I'm working toward. To just be. That's the first B. So it's BE/come. And I'll talk about that later.
Oh boy.
So B stands for
Yeah. No, it's so good. You definitely gonna win that spelling bee, but go ahead.
yeah. B is to just be. A reminder to myself to be who I am no matter what. Learn who I am.
Right.
Don't allow the world's processes to tell me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Learn who I am. Be okay. Be patient with myself.
We only spending time enough with ourselves to
learn.
Yeah, it's real.
Because we think we know ourselves.
Right. That requires you to cut off the game. That requires you to get off Instagram. That requires you to step away from your fiance. That requires you to get away from your children. That requires you to read. That requires you to sit in a room by yourself, meditate, talk to the spirits, talk to the ancestors, man. So
and as
it's a process that come with that.
In that process, what I'm learning, I actually am consuming this book. I don't know what to call it.
Okay.
It's an audio book because I'm not reading it.
No, I feel
you know what I'm saying, but it's a book.
I be trying to tell people I'm going to X amount of books this year, but I listened to 80 of them. Yeah, so I be feeling guilty a little bit.
But it's this book called The Art of Communicating, and another ancestor, Thich Nhat Hanh, who just became an ancestor, a Buddhist monk, and like really popular. Oprah made him popular. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe other people did too.
Oprah can do it.
Yeah.
Oprah can do it.
Shout out to Oprah.
Oprah, you can do it. You can do it, Oprah.
So somebody hashtag Oprah right now.
Friv, like we can, we call this section the Winfrey.
Right. Win free.
Yeah.
But seriously, but Thich Nhat Hanh in that book, The Art of Communicating, pretty much talking about really taking care of home. And home in this context is yourself, your inner being, the who you are. That's crazy. I didn't even make that connection. It's the who you are. It's your being. And he said in doing so, it's like, you know how white people gave us like mindfulness?
Yeah.
It's like mindfulness really is just being yourself.
Yeah.
And being within yourself. Yeah. Taking a breath, taking a walk.
Yeah.
Getting off of Instagram, detaching from your fiance,
detoxing, man.
All the things that you talked about, the distractions that we have, right? I'm not comfortable enough to share this, but recently I've gone through a series of challenges that caused me to get to that place.
Right.
And so I got to the place where I'm not gonna lie, I was uncomfortable with the darkness, the going within. I was uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie, I struggled. With the discomfort. Like, I struggle, bro. I mean, I'm talking about like crying every day, like that kind of thing. Like,
I feel
like, I mean, for real. Not really paying attention to home. You feel me?
That's real.
And that book, man, you gotta check it out. The Art of Communicating.
Please share it.
It's for me, it reminded me that like, actually, the most important thing that I can do and be is me.
Yeah.
And the most important thing to steward is me.
Right.
Beyond a farm, beyond a Black Youth Institute, beyond a farm. It's a farm. Beyond an organization, beyond a movement, beyond other relationships. I can't be what I want to be if I'm not being who I need to be and taking care of the who within me.
Right.
So that's what just be is, right? Now, I apologize. I took us a long way from become, but that's the be.
Please give us again.
The come piece is... And not the come you thinking about.
No use.
What? See, you made more explicit. But the other part of become is to control only me. That part is I'm working on. That's the part that I'm working on to like be okay when something don't go my way.
There you go.
To not have expectations because actually it is extractive to expect that Lee, you're gonna behave this way because I think you should.
Right.
That's unfair and it's unreal.
Yeah.
I want to live in reality. You feel me? And the only thing I actually can control is myself. Right. How I respond to things, how I look at things, how I move. That's how, that's what I'm growing. I'm growing in my ability to control only myself and move away from trying to control other things. And then also just moving to be okay with myself. So those are the places that I'm growing in that I feel good about. I mean, over the last, 7 months, I've been really, really, really like steeped in that as my meditation, as the thing that I remember, the things that I say, the things that I put in my phone as reminders to be like, yo, the only thing you need to do is remember that you touch people around you and people touch you. You don't control it.
Yeah.
And remember to breathe and be in your own body and remember to become.
Yeah.
Just be, control only me. These are the areas that I'm growing in and that I'm focused on. And I think, honestly, these are the things that, like, we miss this because people have colloquialized and normalized sayings like be the change we want to be in the world without actually being it.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So my thing is, it sound good, but the thing is, the only way to be it is to be it.
You gotta go out there. Yeah.
So what I'm working on right now, what I've been calling internally at BYI and all, the praxis of praxis. It's like, you know how people say, planning to plan.
Yeah.
You know, the meeting before the meeting.
Right.
That's it, right? It's preparing myself to get to the place of just normalizing being.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't be unless I set myself up and have the cues to be. Absolutely. So that's the one thing that I would really suggest for people to do, just like hold the space to just like be. Right. You feel me? That's the places I'm growing, and hopefully that's something that somebody can, those some nuggets that people can chew on. We can have the politics, the ideologies, the ideas, the ethics, the values, all the things that we have. But if we don't embody that by being first, if you be, you're going to act in that way. You're going to think in that way. You're going to relate in that way. But if we only relate, if we only have, we might forget ourselves.
Right.
We might forget the very essence of what we are. And at the end of the day, the only thing I am is me.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can be.
Literally.
Every day when the feet hit the ground, that's
literally. My roles change.
Absolutely.
The day changes.
Absolutely.
My mood changes.
Well, who you are,
the people around me, that won't change. So what, like, if that is the most important thing, and not from an individualistic standpoint, but it's an understanding that if I can be the best be that I can be, then the relationships I'm in can be the best that they can be because I'm a co-creator within them.
And then you don't got to worry about trying to be something you're not, or jumping out of your lane, or stretching yourself into a place where you can't stretch to, because you know and you clear who you are, and you know who you are in this space.
That's
versus what you should be in this space, or how you moving into this space. So bro, that's some powerful stuff, and I appreciate you being vulnerable enough to share that.
Hopefully that game was helpful.
No, it's super helpful.
No game,
and I'll be honest, like, all jokes aside, it's helpful for myself, but I think it's gonna be helpful for the folks that are viewing and tapped in with us. But even while we're on the topic of growth, right, and while we're talking about what it looks like to grow in ourselves, in our own spaces, in our personal spaces, I think it's also I think we owe it to talk about the growth of BYI, right? Because I mean, organization growth is a major piece. Growth in the things that we're connected to is also a major piece. And BYI, I love to share that, like, we. Man, since as of December, we've actually transitioned two positions out, which has been our land sovereignty position and our farm manager position has been discontinued and changed to a brand new position that I'll talk about in a second. But also want to lift up the fact that we are no longer with the Cherry Hill Urban Community Garden, and as of right now, Cherry Hill Urban Community Garden has been shut down, and we are moving to start a new relationship in a different community, and really just also staying connected to Cherry Hill, but really just expanding our growth.
Always.
Right, we're using that word again, but expanding our growth. And expanding our footprint. So how we see it is an opportunity, right, to share more jewels, to share more education, share more political education, to have deeper conversations, to learn more from folks in the community, and to serve, right, which is one of the major things that we're connected to. But I'll even circle it back and talk about while we transition out to folks, we were able to create a new position and also bring on a new land sovereignty organizer. So we have our Frodo position, which is our farm redevelopment organizer position, and also our land sovereignty organizer position. Forgive me, because synonyms and antonyms just ain't my strong suit. I play cards. But we also have brought in a new land sovereignty organizer, who we are super excited about. In addition, we actually have a new Susu organizer. So there's a bunch of changes happening across the web of BYI.
Can I share some stuff too?
Oh, put it on.
Look, if you new to our podcast, welcome to season 2.
Oh, yeah.
There's a whole list of podcast episodes in season 1. One, I want to just congratulate you, Brother Lee, and Sister Ashley. She definitely is when she see this air. But for holding down. Like some people don't get through one sentence, rather along one season. You feel me? Yeah. So I'm saying like to be able to materialize something, I think that's something to celebrate on camera, feel excited about.
Absolutely.
But if folks don't know that this podcast is connected to an organization that is generating, supporting, inspiring, instigating, and supporting movement toward Black land and food sovereignty. You know, return to season 2 to learn what we've been talking about, but what Black land and food sovereignty is. But one thing you should know is that we've been growing. There's a lot of work that we've done. Urban farming, as Brother Lee talked about, food co-op development. We've been doing some good stuff. One of the things that hasn't been, kind of going as well, it's been slow, right? Pace, right? Going within to come out is our knowledge production aspect of our work. In 2022, people should know, and we gon' hook these in the episode. You feel me? We gonna talk about it. We gonna, share about it.
Put it on a tripod if we can.
We gonna do whatever we need to do to share with folks that look. Not only do we operate initiative areas, programs, farms, and all of these things, but we also produce knowledge that we hope will advance movement in the same way that our projects do.
We know that will advance.
We know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I ain't mean to cut you off like that, but I had to correct that for you. I'm sorry.
We got some a bunch of things coming out, from photo books to zines and other things that we're looking to teach, to share, to grow. Those things are new too, and I'm really excited about that. We got new courses in our political education course. In our political education initiative area, we got a bunch going on. So I'm really excited to share that, and I'm really excited to be in that space of of really seeing it. We've been cooking up.
Oh man, look.
Since the podcast has been on hiatus, we've been planning. We've been building. We've been growing. We've been going deep within to come out. Now you'll see the impacts of it. So look forward. And in this year, the 7th year of our existence as an institution, you should know that our organization is moving.
It's that lucky number.
And we moving. This is that year, that number of completion. And for us, we just assert and share that there's no limit to our liberation. We're gonna keep doing this work. So anyway, there's a bunch going on. There's a lot happening in the community. We're growing. We're expanding. We have more that we'll share with you. But I just wanted to make sure to add that to what you were talking about. So I'm really excited about it.
No, bro, that's major. And I'm encouraging you. Actually, no, I'm requesting y'all to stay tapped in to jump on everything that Brother Eric talked about, especially, man, that knowledge production, man. Like, we talking about black folks producing black knowledge, right? We talking about it coming from the horse's mouth for one time in a change. We're talking about documenting our own histories, our own stories, and
controlling our narrative.
That's we get to tell a story. So I think it's amazing that we're able to even do that. But I think folks should be connected to it. And I'll be honest, even if I wasn't connected to BYI today, I still be connected to anybody that's doing that kind of work in this space. So, man, look, I think ultimately y'all can tell from our tone, from our energy, and just from our aura that we super excited. So, look, this has been amazing, and as we move into getting through the rest of the season, man,
don't you want to tell people about what they should expect?
So that's what I was about to get into.
You was about to get to it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was getting nervous.
Clear as we move into the rest of the season, I want y'all to actually have a foresight. I want to tell if I can tell them a few. You sure? Is that okay? Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to tell them though?
I want to tell them.
You think they ready for it?
I know they ain't ready for it.
But you want to tell them anyway.
Give them a little spoonful anyway.
A little preview.
You know what I mean? A little push it to that line.
No, I never had that.
Me neither. So what I was saying was, I want to talk to you a little bit more about
this guy.
What y'all gonna see this season, right? Let's talk about Undoing Reloaded, which is really like breaking down what it means to undo.
Season 1, we talked about undoing.
We did, and I put the shoestrings on y'all last season, so I need y'all to already, the shoestring story.
I'm old, bro. Tell me.
No, just really being clear, right? I've used this analogy before, but like the idea of undoing, right? How we break it down as a concept is like, as growing up, we've always had somebody tie our shoes, unless like our
I see.
Yeah, Jordan been tying the shoes since he came out, so that's not our business. But being clear that like we're able to now.
Do they still call him Jordan Scissors Hands?
Yeah. I think they was calling them shoestring double S for a long time. But
got it. Okay, cool.
That's neither here nor there.
Got it.
But we'll talk about Undoing, man. We're gonna talk about things that's deeper than food, economics, and micro enterprises. Talking about the protection and the movement. We like to call that. I almost put it on. Like to call that protect your neck, right? But no, really talking about relationships and building blocks, healing, community, our food co-ops, how hip hop shows up in food. I know y'all waiting for that. I'm waiting for that. I'm excited to talk about that because I can throw you a beans line right now. No, I ain't gonna do it to y'all. But let's talk. We also gonna talk about white supremacy. And omnipresence. We're gonna talk about prison abolition and food, and just houseless people, food and land, etc. So man, we got a bunch of topics we're gonna talk about. A bunch of things that you've experienced, you've been connected to, and that you've been able to have an understanding of. But we're gonna tweak that a little bit and break those molds as we go throughout the season.
You know, I'm not a mathematician, but all the things that you said added up to season 2 about to be
fire. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, not fire, like fire.
Yeah. We're gonna have to clean that mic the way he said that. Look at what I'm telling you.
Hold on. Like fire. Keep the flame.
Actually, we're gonna let him keep that mic.
All right, I'll take it.
No, man, but you're not saying anything that's not true, and I mean, really, like if you, well, let me say it like this: you're not saying anything that's not true, and if I was you, I wouldn't miss season 2.
I like that.
Yo, can somebody?
Was that a run?
Oh my God!
God damn!
All right, my fault.
Hey, but seriously, seriously, man, I really am looking forward to being here. I know we got the new setup, we got the new look, new cameras. I'm excited. We're growing, we're building. But and in addition to that, man, what I'm really, really excited about, seriously, is just continuing to grow. Yeah. And I know this, I know we on brand to grow because we're talking about that. But really, I'm looking forward to grow. Yeah. And really have some uncomfortable conversations, some conversations that make us uncomfortable. And
that's what growth
right?
Yeah,
if we are able to, like if the world and COVID and all of that allows us to have guests, we'll see. But if other than that, like I feel like the topics that we have set out already, deep, and anything else that you send to us that you like for us to talk about, and that you engage with us, I'm really excited to just continue to grow, to dialogue, to have healthy discussion, and to continue to build. Because I mean, the only way to build movement is to build it, and this is one way to do it. I mean, a podcast ain't gonna build movement, but it is a tool that I think we can utilize. So I think, at least for me, if I can, I know you the man on this, please. You know what I mean? I'm new on this. But I just want to thank everybody for watching season 1. I want to thank everybody for watching episode 0 of season 2. And I want to thank you in advance for listening to the rest of the episodes. We promise to do nothing else other than give what we can. To be ourselves, to give ourselves. We're not going to give you anything other than what we've thought about and, kind of ruminated on. But that's about it. We can't promise you that we're experts. We're going to give you what we can be experts in, and that's of being ourselves. And so I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you. I really feel good about.
I'm psyched up.
This only episode 0, bro.
And I can't stress enough that I'm happy to be the heck back, man. Like I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see this red, black, and green on the table again, man. I'm happy to have this backdrop behind us, and I'm happy to have this big mic in front of me as well, man. So I'm really just happy to be here with y'all, man. Happy to be back in the space with y'all, and I look forward to hearing more comments from our family, our friends, and people that we don't even know from across the world. We've gotten a lot of questions, a lot of comments, even some pushbacks, even some little bit of a disrespectful pushback, and y'all be careful with that. I'm gonna tell you one more time, y'all be careful, seriously, because look, you might be in Wyoming.
Respond to fan,
you might be in Wyoming, but planes go there too, baby. So
hey, look,
get it together.
Seriously though. Was that serious?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In addition to that seriousness, man, there would have been several people seriously that reach out to Black Yield Institute and to reach out to us in general and be like, I listened to your podcast. I watch your videos on YouTube. I listened to it. Oh, I love what you all talked about. Like, and so I'm saying, like, keep doing it. That's why we do it. It is a way for us to tap in with people and to connect people to, at some level, a way of expanding our political education and connecting folks to the work, even if you can't be a part of the work. If you outside of Baltimore City, shout out to our city, Baltimore City. Tubman City, whatever you want to call it, Baltimore, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I think that, like, man, we just want to keep connecting. So share it with your family, subscribe and all. And so really, I was grateful for that. And not only the podcast, but all the ways that folks show up to support the work of
Major.
too. So
Major.
Thank y'all. We want to give major gratitude as we continue to grow. We're going to grow in gratitude too. And we're going to grow in keeping the fun. But that's another conversation.
Yeah. Oh, y'all going to get that conversation too. Y'all can get that conversation. But look, right now, we got to thank y'all for coming through. We got to thank y'all for staying tuned in with us. We got to thank y'all for coming back for season 2 and bringing more people with y'all. And if you haven't already, then your brain is confetti. Follow us on Instagram at Black Yield. Follow us on Twitter at Black Yield and also Facebook at Black Yield. Yeah, man, this is closing out episode 0, baby. We talk about the Black Yield podcast where we talk about land, food, and liberations. We see y'all next time.
Peace, y'all.